Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, and with me as always, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, the man who may cry devil, and the man who escaped Hades. Is that a good one? I don't like it. What's a better? The super giant. Steven.
Super giant. I don't.
That's not as good. It sounded cool in my head, but as soon as I said it, I was like, maybe not.
You should play some super giant games.
You know what,
so
Steven?
We can make an in joke.
I would like to play Hades at some point. I've heard enough talk now. It's one
probably
of those
really
things.
enjoy Hades. You'd really enjoy Bastion. You probably wouldn't like Pyre that much. Pyre's a weird one.
I don't think I would like Bastion, just based on watching and editing the forward compatible. I don't think I would like it, but I am interested in trying Hades just because of how much attention it's gotten, and then obviously such high praise from you as well. So I need to try that out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chortlecast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. It's usually video games. We got a great show for you this week. Lots to do, lots to talk about. Big news. We had the Game Awards this past weekend. We had a drunk live reactions to that, which I'm sure was very entertaining for everyone.
It was pretty entertaining.
It was not as much fun for me the next day, but you know we're here, and it was.
You were a trooper.
It was a lot of fun in the moment. It was not as fun afterwards, but we got all sorts of stuff to talk about from the Game Awards. Disney apparently the same day decided that this would be
literally
a great time.
As the Game Awards were happening. We were getting news from Disney.
Yeah. I vaguely remember you starting to say things on the live stream, but I was gone at that point. Like you said something about Captain Marvel 2 is announced, and I was like, what? That sounds great. And so I don't know what you said. Anyway, we're going to talk about all the news. Well, not all of the news. We're going to talk about a lot of the news from that. And then we've been playing a little bit of Cyberpunk 2077. So we're going to talk about all that. But first, Steven, I want to take a tangent. All right, real quick, real short deviation. Since we've got, we don't have anything to talk about. So I'm just going to have a quick tangent here.
Yeah.
So Steven and I, we both worked a wedding yesterday, or I guess not yesterday, but this weekend. Mm-hmm. And it was real funny. And this is just classic. This is where Steven and I are in our relationship right now. All right. Steven got there. I was running around doing stuff. He was running around doing stuff. That we had a violinist playing. I went up. I was filming the violinist. Steven came up to like mic check the violinist or something. And we both just look at each other, do a little head nod. And then
it was a synchronized head nod.
We did not speak to each other.
No.
The whole time. We just gave a head nod. That was all we needed. We just kept on rolling. So we hear enough from each other enough to where like, even though you don't live here, it's just like it feels like
is like, oh, there he is.
It feels like we see each other or talk to each other every day. So it's just like, whatever, just say hey. So I afterwards I felt kind of bad. I was like, dang, I didn't say hey to Steven at all. But it was like, we had that head nod was enough. That was all. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, we've got lots to talk about. Let's start with the Game Awards. I almost said the Game Awards 2077. I don't know why where I'm at right now. I'm all in on Cyberpunk right now. Is where my brain's at.
I'm excited to hear you talk about it because I'm curious where you are and all that stuff. You might be ahead of me now.
No.
Oh.
Not. So we're not to Cyberpunk yet. We're not to Cyberpunk. Let's get through the Game Awards.
Answer this one question. Okay. Have you hit title card?
No.
Oh my God.
It's too much to do, Steven. There's too much happening over here. All right. All right. We're gonna get to Cyberpunk. We'll get to Cyberpunk, and it won't be spoilers when we get there. So a lot of stuff happened at the Game Awards, right? A lot of BS, a lot of AS, a lot of CS. Lots of things happened. Okay. I want to boil this down to mostly just announcements. All right. If you want to go find like every announcement that was made, you can go find that. We're gonna boil
IGN has
down.
one that's actually really good as far as every announcement.
I've
never said that about an IGN article.
That's where I'm pulling my list from.
Cool. So we've got the same one. But yeah, we're not going to talk about the actual awards because honestly, they're a joke and they really just don't matter. So we're just going to talk about the things that actually matter, which are the announcements that happened at the Game Awards, because I think I've finally decided that if it weren't for these announcements, Jake, and this was a really good one for announcements. There were some great announcements. But if it weren't for those announcements, I would never watch this. I would never watch the Game Awards because it's crap. It's a joke. It's a meme at this point.
I don't want to go too deep into this because we do have a lot to talk about, but we had an interesting conversation, Steven, myself, and Brody in our group chat. And it was from this Kotaku article that was basically the headline was, and this is all I really read of it. So
yeah, I didn't even read the article. I just saw Brody shared it, and it brought up a good point.
The headline was something along the lines of, should games that were made under crunch be eligible for awards? And
it was specifically the best direction award.
Yes.
Because that has to do with like the development of the game.
Yes. And I think that is such a good point. And I really think that would be I don't know how huge that would be, like, would anyone really listen to that? Especially if it was just one award, which I think that's the first baby step that we could make, is make one award not eligible if it was done under crunch. But I also wonder, and I mean, this may not be a bad thing, but I wonder, what games could even be what games would be eligible, right? Hades, I know, would have been eligible.
Hades should have won it with or without the crunch, honestly, because I'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But
it's an interesting question. And it's one that I hope reaches Jeff's ears, and I hope enough pressure can be put to where something like that could be implemented, because I think that's, and even we're going to talk about Cyberpunk here in a minute, but the word on the street, as they say on the web, is, this game should have just been delayed again. Why did they, Brody and I have been saying a lot of like, why did they put this on last gen consoles? Like, they should have just pushed it to the next gen. And I think even now, like, I'm obsessed with Cyberpunk, and I would have been even a year from now, I probably still will be a year from now, the pace I'm taking this game. I don't know. I wish I would think that this would maybe help the fight against crunch, but I don't know how much it would do.
So I don't know if it would, because ultimately, how much authority does the Game Awards really have? Because the Game Awards themselves aren't. It's the industry basically circle jerking itself, honestly, because it's all about advertisement. And so I don't really even know if the awards at the Game Awards
matter
or have any kind of weight to them, other than just saying for the sake of, the consumer being like, wow, the best game of the year from the Game Awards was this. Like, for all I know, the voting's completely rigged. I don't necessarily think it is, but gosh, at the Game Awards this year, it really kind of felt like there was some money exchanging hands. But I'm not going to get into that, and I'm not going to say that I actually believe that. It just was really odd.
Yeah.
But
enough about. Oh, sorry.
Well, one more thing. Finishing that thought. With the whole crunch thing, it just felt off to me, because I'm not saying Last of Us 2 is a bad game. I don't like it. But I can't say it's a bad game. To say it's a bad game would be wrong. But as far as best direction is concerned, which has to do with, the overall development of the game, the direction that the game took and everything, to me, and this is just my case for Hades, because I feel like it doesn't get enough appreciation. You have a game that is an indie title that, according to Brody, he gave me this tidbit of information that I did not know before he told me this. Apparently, Supergiant employees have unlimited time off and 20 days a year that they are forced to take off.
See, and I would love to see where he got those numbers, because
I would love to see that too.
That sounds crazy. Like,
yes, it does.
Like, I have a pretty lax job, but like, I don't have that.
So I work for a church and I don't have that kind of time off.
Right.
So but I assume the reason for that is that Supergiant is an indie developer, and they are so they are like project focused. So as long as the work gets done in a timely manner, people can just be like, I'm taking the day off.
Yeah.
I assume that's what that means, if that's even true. I haven't fact checked it, but if true, I just thought that was really interesting. Because for them to pump out a game as polished as Hades is, using the early access formula and giving us a game that in early access always felt finished. It never felt like an incomplete game, even while it was in active development. That's something. That's really impressive. And to not really even acknowledge the game and just say, oh, Last of Us 2 has Neil Druckmann, so it deserves best direction. Does it though? You know, like, I feel like these stories aren't getting told because you've got these titles like Last of Us that are just so polarizing, or people talk about them so much that they dominate the conversation entirely. The stories of these smaller guys, or the stories that aren't being told, they need to be heard. And I just think there's a lot that goes into Supergiant and their development process that's really admirable.
Well, and I think Hades got enough nominations that people are like, whoa, what's this Hades game?
Yeah.
I need to play this. Like, you know, that's going to be the darling that comes out, I think, and people say, oh, that's the one I didn't hear about this year that I need to go back to play. Like Disco Elysium was one. I guess it was last year for me.
It won Best Narrative, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. It was one that like it had gotten nominated a couple times, but I had not heard of it because I think it was only on PC at the time.
It was.
And I was just like, okay, I might need to check that one out. I haven't yet, but that's just because there's a lot happening. So anyway, enough about all that. Let's jump into some of the announcements. Again, if you want a full list, go to IGN, find something there. We're just going to boil it down to like our top three things that just got us real excited and we're hyped. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I had to go back and watch through a lot of this again. So I don't know. There might have been something I'm forgetting that I got excited about, but you know,
you got hyped about a lot was.
I did get hyped about a lot of things. That may have been
the Kraken talking.
But how many things was I really excited about? So I'll start. My number one thing was, and this is in no particular order, but just the one thing I want to talk about first. Seth Roth in Smash.
I really want to get a poster or something of Sephiroth just impaling Mario.
Wasn't that crazy?
That was so great. I've watched our reaction to that like 3 times because it was so good.
You should have clipped it. We could have posted it.
I could probably find it again. But of course they revealed that Sephiroth didn't actually skewer Mario, but there's just a shot of their silhouettes where it looks like he did, but it was like his overalls. But man, Sephiroth ran through. He brought despair to Smash. It was amazing.
That was great.
What a good trailer.
What a good trailer. It starts off right. What's the like ultimate being that's got like the master hands and everything? What's his name? Glenn, something like that.
Glenn?
It starts with a G. Galactus, Galagite. I think it's Glenn. I'm going to call it Glenn.
Okay, Glenn. Call it Glenn.
Anyway,
I'll look for the actual thing.
It's Glenn. He's floating up in the air, right? He's got his army of master hands. Everybody, including Banjo-Kazooie. I remember distinctly Banjo-Kazooie was in this. And I was like, that's cool that they added a DLC character. Galeen. See, that's kind of close to Greg.
No, it's not.
Glenn.
Greg?
Look, I had a G. It had an L. It sounds like there might be an N in there somewhere. So I was pretty close. Anyway, and then, it looks like all hope is lost. And then suddenly Glenn gets cut in half. And you're like, what just happened?
And then all hope is really lost.
Oh, man, yeah. Then the music starts. Like that cut happens. And then you hear the dun, 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 dun,
like the shrieking violins. Like,
yes.
And then you hear the pinch harmonics and the choir.
I am proud of myself. Even in an inebriated state.
Yeah,
that music, as soon as that music hit, I went, "Oh my god!" Like I know who this is. I'm terrified right now. So, but what a good reveal. You know what I mean? I have no problems with that. It was a really hype trailer.
That was the perfect way to do a reveal for content for a game that's currently running, because it had a really hype trailer. The reveal moment was awesome, but it tied in gameplay as well. There was A+ Smash. Well done.
The interesting thing about this too, I think it's like, I forget what number of years, but it was around the anniversary of Cloud coming. And another tidbit that I've listened to some other people talk about is that when Square worked with Nintendo to put Cloud in originally, it was one of those things where like Square just didn't really play nice. Like normally when you get a character, you get like all this music and like maybe a new stage and then obviously the character. But with Cloud, you got a character, you got like one song and then a stage, and that was it.
Yep.
And so there are hopes that it's surprising enough that they're collaborating again for Sephiroth, but hopefully we'll get more music, and I'm sure we're going to get a stage. I think they showed the stage, but anyway, that was a hype moment.
Yeah, there was
me.
a Midgar stage, I think, that it teased.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So anyway, that's just a good announcement. You know, we need to play some Smash, Steven. I know the online sucks, but we need to figure out a time to make it happen. Yeah. So. All right, what you got, Steven? What was something that you had?
So in no particular order, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Back 4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood. Okay, I'm so glad you're talking about this because I'm not like a huge Left 4 Dead fan, but I was really excited watching this. It looked like it could be fun.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead is one of those games that I feel like in our, I guess, sphere of influence, a lot of people played Left 4 Dead 2 at some point and has fond memories of it. Even if they didn't have a PC, because it was pretty big on the Xbox 360, I think. But that's just one of those games that I miss because it's such a good formula and a lot of games have replicated it. But I've missed, I want that, but with modern stuff, because Left 4 Dead's like so old at this point. And so Back 4 Blood is basically the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. It even uses a 4.
I was like the number 4. Say that's what, because I remember when we were watching it, and again, I don't have great recollection of that night, but I vaguely remember saying, "Is this a new Left 4 Dead?" And you were like, "No, Left 4 Dead is done. Like they've left that." And I was like, "I don't know. This looks like Left 4 Dead." And I should have really gotten it when it said, "What is it now? It's Blood for Blood." Is that
Back 4 Blood?
And so Back 4 Blood. I was like, yeah, it really should have connected, but it took me reading it.
So you were right in thinking, wow, this looks like Left 4 Dead because it had all of the things that say this is Left 4 Dead. But and this is one of the interesting things about it. Half of this reveal was gameplay, and the gameplay looks really tight. And the other half was like a kind of story trailer where we see that the infection comes from space, and it's through a worm. And so that's how I was like, no, there's no way this is Left 4 Dead, because that's not how Left 4 Dead worked. And none of these zombies, they look too sci-fi to be Left 4 Dead zombies. So basically it looks like they are taking the gameplay and just overall design of Left 4 Dead, but they are like really doubling down on the premise. And I like that they're doing sci-fi zombies, because that makes it to where they can really go bonkers, like, you know, making a 20-foot tall zombie like we see in the trailer. But I'm really curious to see more from this, because it looked super fun. I hope that it's got like World War Z level of depth, because that's the great thing about World War Z, is that it's basically Left 4 Dead, but it's like got a class system and weapon upgrades and stuff. I hope that we get that kind of stuff. I don't know if we got a release date on it. Did we?
Back 4 Blood. Give me a second. I want to say March. There was a lot of things that were announced for like March and February, but let me scroll up to it.
Q1 of next year, as long as stuff doesn't get delayed, is gonna be so stacked for me. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Sorry, my thing is moving really slow. June 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll have something to play in the summer.
There you go. I'll still be playing Cyberpunk. All right. Well, that was a good one.
Maybe by then you'll actually get to the title card.
Maybe. The other one that I got really, really excited about, and I distinctly remember like yelling at it, because I was like, "Shoot that bow on your back, dude! Shoot that bow, and I'll take this shot." It was
Crimson Desert.
Crimson Desert, right?
I'm glad that you included this one, because this one was like low key my number one. But I had two others that I wanted to talk about, so let's go ahead and talk about this one, because this looked awesome.
It looked so good. It's an open world action adventure game. It's supposed to launch in 2021 on PC and consoles. I mean, you described it as kind of an Assassin's Creed, Steven. It has more of a medieval feel, I think, than any Assassin's Creed.
Did I say that?
I feel like
I compared it to something in Dragon's Dogma was what I compared it to.
Interesting. It does have a Dragon's Dogma kind of feel.
It was no, I lost it again. I had it. Anyway,
I thought
continue.
at some point, and I thought at some point you were like, oh, this looks like, oh, maybe you were talking about Robin Hood, the Hood game, and I just am mixing the two. But anyway, it looked really sharp. You had a guy, it was very medieval themed. It showed a lot of combat stuff. But it was already one of those things that like, okay, this looks cool. It's the right setting. We're fighting. He's got a bow. I'm in. And then he started riding a dragon at some point. If I remember correct, I'm either blending two things. This did happen twice.
There was dragon riding twice. It was weird. It was weird that we got two things that were featuring dragon riding.
Yes. At
the Game Awards, and that's not even including Dragon Age, which also included dragons. Dragons weirdly showed up at the Game Awards.
I'm all about when dragons show up. Okay. So it was, as soon as I said it now, I was like, crap, am I blending these two in my head? But no. So once he started riding a dragon, I was like, nope, I'm in. What is this? I'm excited. I'm ready to see more. Obviously 2021, that could be December, of 2021 at this point. So I can't wait to see more. I don't know where we'll see more, but this is one that I'm definitely keeping my eyes out for.
Yeah. Okay, my number 2, and this is in no particular order. I'm just making sure that Endless Dungeon.
Okay.
Do you remember that one? It was the one with the duck thing and the robot and the girl with the minigun.
No, I don't remember that one.
Okay. So it's described at the very beginning as like a tactical roguelite dungeon crawler or something like that. A co-op tactical basically 3 of my buzzwords, all 3 of them. And I was like, okay, totally listening. And I watched and I was like, I don't know about this because I don't like the design of the characters because like the duck thing looked weird. And the art style was not my favorite. But then they announced that it's Endless Dungeon. And you may be like, Steven, I've never heard you care about anything that had to do with those words, but okay. Little context. There's a game that I played in college a lot. It was basically my just kill time and chill game for a while called Dungeon of the Endless. It is a roguelike tower defense strategy game where you basically are stuck in this dungeon as a group of survivors, and you have to climb your way out. And as you go through, each door that you open can have either enemies in it or places to put defenses, or you could find people that you can recruit. It was a really fun strategic roguelike game. I love it. I love that game. This game is a part of the Endless series and features a lot of the mechanics of Dungeon of the Endless, but incorporated in a real-time tactical, like top-down shooter kind of game. But it is going to incorporate the whole thing where every room could bring more enemies or other stuff the whole time you're trying to defend this crystal. It's basically another Dungeon of the Endless game, but in space. And it's got co-op, and just I'm pumped. I'm so pumped because we don't really know anything about it. We just know that it's coming and it'll be probably next year. But that's all I need. It's one of those games where it's like, just give me a release date. I'll buy it because I've played Dungeon of the Endless so much. I'm just excited to get another game in the vein of that.
I can't believe I don't remember there being a duck.
But you see the duck, right?
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I was telling Steven, it's like, I remember some things, but then there's some things that I'm just like, what is this? This happened? Huh? So that's funny.
I should do a Dungeon of the Endless stream sometime, just like a quick one, because it's a fun little game that's it's just very good, like time killing. It's satisfying because it's like a mixture of strategy and tower defense and a little bit of RPG.
Very nice. Yeah. I'm torn on 3. that I want to call out, but I don't want to waste too much time on them. So I'm going to talk about the one that we know the most about, and that's It Takes Two, which is the new game from Hazelight Studios, which is Joseph Ferris's studio. So
He feels very strongly about the Oscars. That guy.
He feels very strongly about the Oscars, and he also feels very strongly about cooperative games. And so he has made, I don't know, I would say arguably some of the most interesting co-op experiences. The most recent one was A Way Out, which is where you played as two inmates escaping prison and experiencing this story together. And it's got some great twists there at the end. Steve Brody and I did a full Let's Play of it if you want to watch.
Yeah, I think that he also did Brothers. Is that right?
He did Brothers, or I think it's Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I think is what it was called.
That sounds right. Yeah, but basically he does these games that are like you have to play them as two people, and it's very very involved from both parties. It's a cool gimmick that really embraces couch co-op, and I'm always down for that.
Yeah, and he really takes it to the next level with those. So anyway, his newest one is called It Takes Two. They had a great trailer. The premise is that I forget the names, but there's a daughter. There's a married couple who you're going to be playing. They are getting a divorce, right? And their daughter, as a coping mechanism, makes these two dolls, and the parents get turned into their dolls, right? And then there's this Book of Love character that's literally a book with like a purple ribbon mustache, and it
looks like the McDonald's Happy Meal character, but on a book.
It does, yes. And so anyway, they're going on this journey to find love again or something like that. Anyway, who knows what's going to happen? It's a very neat premise. It had a lot of what you would expect from Hazelight at this point, of just some really interesting cooperative gameplay. And then much like A Way Out, it's going to be tied to a really touching story, I think. So
I like how this, a couple thoughts. One, I like how A Way Out did kind of feel like games that you've played before, but with a good gimmick. This one looks really unique, and I like that. Just the premise overall just looks something unique. Two, my favorite part about the entire presentation, and this is just me making a joke, but was that his presentation of him, of Joseph Ferris, saying like, here's what we have, check it out, was clearly edited, but he misspoke at one point. Like, he stumbled over his words, and they didn't edit that out. They didn't even try. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. It was great. Good stuff there. So, all right, Steven, what's the last thing you want to call out from the Game Awards?
Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. And you're getting to learn a lot about me from what they announced at the Game Awards, which is kind of cool. There were some throwbacks in there for me. One of these facts about me that you're learning is that I played a lot of Warhammer 40K Dawn of War back in high school. It's a real-time strategy game where, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Just think of real-time strategy games. That's what Dawn of War was, but it was Warhammer 40K. It was awesome. That's my connection to Warhammer, is specifically Dawn of War. And my faction in that game was the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard are the puny little humans, but they have really, really boss vehicles, like the Baneblade, which is like 10 tanks fused into one tank. It has like 50 guns. It's amazing. That's the Imperial Guard. Dark Tide has you playing as what it looks like. And I'm going to get some of the Warhammer lore wrong, probably, because again, my only connection to Warhammer 40K is Dawn of War. So I only know what I got through that very limited lens. So please, any Warhammer people out there, forgive me for if any of this is incorrect. But in Dark Tide, you were playing as a 4-man squad of Imperial Guard soldiers. So the really big Shrek looking guy, that is called an Ogren. And if I remember right, they are mercenaries hired to serve the Imperial Guard, but they're just these big ogres that have giant shotguns. There's a guy who was firing like a laser gun. He's a Kasserkin. That's their elite spec ops guys. Then I think I saw a commissar or something like that. It was the girl with the hammer, and then maybe some kind of captain. I wasn't really familiar with the commissar looking one with the hammer and the one that looked like just a regular captain to me. But the fact that they're making a Warhammer 40K game that's a 4-player co-op shooter where you play as the faction that was my favorite but is least known for their infantry units is like, man, who's reading my subconscious wish list from like 2011? Because it would be on there. Because I think I even said when they announced this at the Xbox showcase way back when in like July, they showed Darktide very quickly. And I even said, I was like, man, if they let you play as a Kasserkin, that's going to be legit. I'm going to be all about that. And I even said, I was like, there's no way, because no one wants to play as the Imperial Guard infantry because their infantry sucked in Dawn of War. Lo and behold, we're playing as 4 of them. We're playing as a Kasserkin and Ogren and all that. It's great. It's great.
I'm so happy for you, Steven.
Yeah.
We're going
to have to play that. I think you'd enjoy it.
Okay.
It's really good to win for a change, Jake.
It is. I bet it is. That's good.
Why don't people win all the time?
I don't know.
Do we get to choose to win? Because
where did I forget to sign something? Did I not sign up?
Did I not sign the waiver, the win waiver?
Oh man. Well, speaking of winning, with that was just the Game Awards, and there's lots of other stuff I'd love to talk about, but we have a whole investors meeting from Disney that we have to talk about.
Meanwhile, over at Disney in the boardroom, while we were streaming the Game Awards, like magic was happening because it's Disney, I guess. There was a lot of stuff being announced.
A lot of stuff. And honestly, one of the reasons I don't want to go through this whole list is a lot of it is trivial. All right. Like there's this one of the, I'm a huge Disney fan, right? Okay. I'm very excited about, I'm going to say the name wrong. I think is it Raya and the Last Dragon? That's the next Disney movie that's coming out.
Something like that.
It might be Raya or something I'm missing. Anyway.
It's Glenn.
The one after that is one they announced here, but like literally the announcement was they had a short little trailer. It's going to be based in Colombia, and Lin-Manuel is in it. And that's all they gave us. And so it's like there's a lot of those kind of announcements, and it's coming like in 2023 or something like that. So there's a lot of those kind of announcements that I kind of get bought. Like
Buzz.
For me, it's nice to know, but it's like, do we really want to talk about that? So
you don't want to talk about how Buzz Lightyear, not the toy, but the man the toy was based on in the fictional universe, is getting his own movie 2 years from now? You don't want to talk about that? Chris Evans?
I'm actually really excited about that one. That's one of the ones. That's one of the smaller ones that I'm real excited about.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it, but I was confused.
It is a tad confusing, but I think they really, to me, they overcomplicated how that needed to be said. Like, but whatever. Anyway, what we're going to do to save on time and to maybe not get too in the weeds, we're going to focus only on Star Wars and Marvel, because Steven here is our resident Star Wars big boy, and I am our resident Star Wars little big boy, because I'm really starting to get into Star Wars. I'm just here to tell you, I've been watching Clone Wars. I've been watching Rebels. I've seen all the other movies. I'm hooked now. Okay. I'm into it. All right. I just haven't read the books or anything like that because I can't read. But then also
the books were the best part.
Steven and I are both resident Marvel big boys. So we have lots of things to talk about, all of those. So I'm going to start us with Star Wars, Steven, because that's where we're at. There were literally so many things that they announced. Okay. Like, I think it was like 11 new projects in total for Star Wars. And like, there's almost a question of, is there a time where there's too much? Like, is there too much of a good thing?
And it's now. The time
we're there.
The time is when they announced a Cassian Andor spinoff series, which was like a year and a half ago.
So here we go. So I'm going to go down the list. Steven, if there's any you want to stop and talk about, and we could stop and talk about all of them if you want. But I'm just going to go down the list, and here we go. The first one is the Rogue One prequel called Star Wars Andor, which is about What was his
Cassian
name?
Andor.
Cassian. Yeah, Cassian Andor.
Who is dead?
So, who is dead? This is a prequel to Rogue One, right? Everyone in Rogue One is dead. So you seem worked up about this one, Steven. Are you not a fan of this one?
I like Cassian a lot. I think there's a lot of story to be told there, but I don't know if it warrants this, you know? Because to me, when it comes to Marvel and Disney, I mean Marvel and Star Wars, I want the story to move forward.
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell too much on someone who's already dead.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing, right, about Star Wars is we started so like with the originals, right? The original trilogy, you had all these great characters and then some of them die. And so it's like, well, crap, we want to see more about Vader. Like, who is this Vader guy? Like, so we're going to go back and do all this. So
which the prequels I was okay with because they alluded a lot.
Yes.
To the prequels, and it was very necessary. There was a lot of story there. And I like Cassian just fine. But we literally have seen the galaxy both before and after his existence. I just don't feel like there's much that they can tell that will be interesting. There's no room for like Star Wars stories, I feel like, which have to do with like big, galactic scale events. I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll probably enjoy it. I'll watch it and probably enjoy it.
If they keep it smaller scale, a lot like Mandalorian season 1, I could see it being really cool.
Yeah.
We rush up on a similar question of like, is this a one season kind of thing? Because it's a prequel to Rogue One. Like, how far ahead are they? Because eventually we're going to hit Rogue One, right? And so how far do you want to go? So that'll be interesting.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually that reminds me of just a thought I've had, and I haven't really picked anyone else's brain on this yet. But
pick my brain, crack it open.
All of these Disney Plus Marvel series and Star Wars series, to me, I have always been under the impression that they are one and done. Every single one of them.
I would be as we continue down this list, a lot of them I would like to be a one and done type deal.
And I feel like people aren't thinking of that as a possibility. I just haven't heard anyone talk about, because they're called a new show on Disney Plus or whatever, but I've never heard them referred to as like a new short series or anything like that. And I've heard that terminology before.
I think the unfortunate thing is that when something gets popular and is well received, it warrants a sequel strictly from a dollar standpoint, right?
Yep. And that's kind of my negative side of the whole Cassian show, Ahsoka show, all that kind of stuff, is that I'm pretty sure I said this. And I'll try not to dwell. I'm sorry, just cut me off from dwelling. I'm pretty sure I said this when we were at Galaxy's Edge in Disney. But one of the things that I love about Star Wars is that everyone is someone.
Yeah.
Like in every single scene, it's funny because like every single character has a Wikipedia page probably, like even in the background. And I love that. That's great. But now we're over here and we're just giving all those people a series.
Now all those people have to have a series. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, hold on. That's too much.
That's too much. It's too much.
Too much Star Wars. Calm down.
Which is crazy because it's like you love something so much, you want more of it, but it's like, how deep can you really go? And one of the reasons I like Mandalorian and season 2, I haven't watched any, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, when are we watching that?
Anything. I would love to, Steven. I'm trying to get through Rebels, okay? As soon as Ahsoka shows up and everybody starts talking about Ahsoka again, it's like, well, crap. I need to make sure I know who all these people are so that when they show up and when they start talking about them, I know who these people are. I'm really close to that. I'm almost done with season 3 of Rebels. I got one more season after that, and then I can start watching Mandalorian. Have you started watching Mandalorian?
No, I've waited on you.
Oh, you're so sweet. You can watch it without me. You just can't tell me anything about it.
No, you're the only person you're the only person I'll have to talk to about it, really.
Okay, so well, I'm trying to catch up. I really am. Cyberpunk's not helping you any though. All right, moving on. We got more to talk about. We all know that the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series was coming, and that it was happening, and that Ian McGregor was going to be in it. But what we did not know until this announcement, Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader.
That's awesome. I am so happy.
I'm so happy that you're happy. Because I'm furious. I'm just kidding. I'm not mad. I'm just really curious what that means. Because you would think, and I don't think it has to be this way, but you would think and you would assume that when they first meet in the original series or the original trilogy, that was the first time they've seen each other since the Clone Wars.
Yep.
You would think.
That's what they've heavily alluded to, but Star Wars loves its retcons. So
right. I'm really, really curious because it's really interesting to think about what all and I was really interested to see what this show was going to show about what Obi-Wan did while he was on Tatooine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. While he was there, because obviously Rebels, Darth Maul tracks him down and they have a really epic fight, and
they have one of the greatest scenes in Star Wars history. Goodness.
Obi-Wan puts him down for good this time. I say that. I don't really know for sure that is what happened, but he kills him again.
Dead. He's dead.
Kills him again. And so you assume that he's just been there ever since, but maybe he hasn't. Maybe he left for a little while. Maybe Darth Vader tracks him down, and that's why he leaves to protect Luke, or what? I'm really curious what this is going to be. But I do like that they're bringing Hayden Christensen back for this role.
So this would require a lot of retconning, and I don't know how I feel about this, but this is an interesting thought that I had while we were talking about it. What if the Vader that we get in this is like a different version of Vader, as in like a less of a suit, one that is like, obviously he'd have a suit, but it wouldn't be the full Vader suit. It'd be like a prototype version, like an early version, so we could see his face or something, give him room to actually act and hear his voice a little bit less modulated. And I know at the end of episode 3, we had James Earl Jones, like, where is Padme? No, that whole thing. She was alive. I felt it. We had that, but
that was that is the thing, right? Because even in Rebels, right? Vader shows up in Rebels, and
that's true.
It's James Earl Jones. Who did you just say?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, James Earl Jones. He's voicing him there, and obviously he's in his classic Vader armor. And yeah, at the end of episode 3, he's in it. He's already in his classic Vader armor. So I would be really curious to see how they're going to do this and how they're going to handle it, and we'll see.
Ooh, it would be really cool.
What would be cool, Steven?
This is topical because Cyberpunk is out, but I just had this thought. What if the story follows Obi-Wan and him dealing with the guilt of Anakin, and Hayden Christensen as Anakin haunted him like a Johnny Silverhand?
Oh my God. I like that so much better.
That would be so cool.
That's such a better. Like, what if they were really connecting through the Force, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, you're going to hate this analogy, but kind of like Rey and Kylo Ren.
Boo!
Like something like that, you know what I mean? Where like they can't see where the other one is, but they can see each other and they're haunting each other. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I'm on board with that. That could be really cool. And that'd be a great way to bring Hayden in. So
yeah, I would love to see that, because that would really give you a chance. Like it would let you see how much the actors can really act, because it's almost like you're stripping away. And I know I just complained about this, but you're stripping away the grandiose of Star Wars, and you just made it about a man ridden with guilt from his past and dealing with that and the ghosts of his mistakes. That would be so interesting, because like we don't get enough of Obi-Wan dealing with what happened to Anakin, and when we do, like there's an edit of A New Hope when Obi-Wan is telling Luke about his father. And I love this edit because it's Obi-Wan. It's Sir Alec Guinness. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
But he's talking about how he was a great Jedi Knight, and then a Sith killed him, or whatever. He's doing that monologue, but it's showing Hayden, and then as he looks off in the distance, it's Hayden burning in the lava, and you can like see the guilt in Alec's eyes, and it's like, man, that connects so well, even though it was made backwards. And that's a great moment now, having the context of both. And so seeing Obi-Wan deal with the thought of Anakin, I think we need more of that. And so I hope that's what we get.
I hope this doesn't take away from who plays Obi-Wan. It just left my brain.
Ian McGregor, thank you.
I mean, literally, you could see it on camera. Just the name just floated out of my head. I hope we can see more. I hope this doesn't take away from this being his series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want them. I almost don't want them to equally share screen time. I like that Hayden will be back, and because I feel like the prequels were Anakin's story, and it was Hayden's time to shine. Which obviously he wasn't in all of the prequels, but you know what I mean.
He didn't shine, and that's like he was good in the role that he needed to play, but there were a lot of things that just went wrong about the prequels. But I think Hayden can be a good actor, and I hope that we do get a chance for him to show up in some capacity. But I agree, I want Ewan to really take this and run with it.
Exactly. All right, moving on. We have a mysterious series called The Acolyte, which is a female-driven series set in the High Republic era. So this is a hole in my Star Wars knowledge. I don't know much about the High Republic.
No one knows about High Republic yet because it's new.
Is this the one that's like so far back?
Yes, this is replacing, to my knowledge, I think it's basically the replacement for the Old Republic.
Gotcha.
So it's the new Old Republic.
The new Old Republic, the High Republic, as we like to call it. Gotcha. There's a Lando Calrissian is getting a quote event series, which I wonder if that's not going to be one of those, what you were kind of saying earlier, Stephen, of a one-off thing.
If these series are like mini series, like a one season deal, if that's what we're getting out of most of these, then I'm totally on board. But if we're going to get multiple seasons of WandaVision, and Loki and all this stuff, why?
I think WandaVision is pretty safe that it's a one-time
I
deal.
think so too.
But that could come back and bite me in the butt later. Yeah. I could end up being wrong there.
Yeah, we get season 2 called Two Division. That was dumb. Just keep going. Just
Oh my God. The Mandalorian will have 2 spinoffs, Star Wars Ahsoka and then Star Wars Rangers of the New Republic.
That's pretty cool.
So obviously Ahsoka will follow Ahsoka. I haven't watched Mandalorian season 2 and neither has Steven. So I don't know what she's been doing or what she is doing or what this could possibly be about her doing. But I like Ahsoka. So I'm all on board with this. Rangers of the New Republic, Steven. What, again, I haven't seen Mandalorian, so probably the people who are watching Mandalorian in time are like, oh man, we saw the Rangers last week's episode. I can't wait to see more of them. Like, what are the Rangers, Steven? Do you have any idea what this is?
I don't know. They retconned everything New Republic pretty much with Disney, but I like the idea of it because it means that we'll get some like post-Empire Star Wars, like Mandalorian, but more from the perspective of like the outcome of the trilogy, original trilogy, rather than the outcome being a background kind of character.
Gotcha.
So that's what I assume that would be.
Okay, cool. Additionally, they're going to have an animated series, there's 2 different things. So there's an animation series called Star Wars The Bad Batch. They had a teaser trailer for that one. I don't really have much context beyond that. And then another one, which I am excited for. I
think that has to do with the clones, the Bad Batch.
Okay. That could be really fun. They also revealed an anime anthology project called Star Wars Visions. So the cool thing about this that I know is that a different anime. I don't know if studio is the right word, but like a different anime group is going to be making each episode. So
That's cool.
I don't know if you ever watched Sex, Love, and Robots. I think is what it's called. No, Love, Death, and Robots, something like that.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be a lot like that, where every episode is a completely different art style, a completely different direction, and it's just going to tell a short little 30-minute to 40-minute story. And
I like this, and I think that this is the kind of stuff that Star Wars needs right now. Is something to give us these little tidbits of interesting Star Wars so that we can move past the Resistance and the Rebellion and the Skywalkers. You know, like that, because there's so much interesting stuff in Star Wars. And this is the kind of stuff that I feel like Star Wars has needed for a long time. As far as just like an anthology series. Clone Wars did that to an extent in the first season. Right. But it was still all Clone Wars. There's so much more than just beyond the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I'm excited about is just that it's an anime, right? And so we're going to have a Star Wars anime to some degree. And that just gets me.
And hyped, I mean, we've had these videos, I feel like this year and last year, that was like, if Star Wars was an anime, there have been like anime openings. I don't know if you've seen any of those, but some of them are awesome.
Oh, they're awesome. They're amazing. And they're just, fan edits as far as I know. So there was one, and I know this is a little bit in the weeds, but it'll be super quick, where like it was the story of the original trilogy, but it did a little bit of the prequels too. And it was Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting Dooku. And like they did like a turn to where they were going to hit at him, but then Dooku vanished and the scene changed to Mustafar, and then it was Anakin fighting Obi-Wan. It was awesome. That was such a cool edit. There was good stuff there. And then in addition to the TV projects, they also announced a new movie, which is going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman, called Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Which is interesting because we just recently got the video game Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And so far as we know, that game's story has been retconned and is no longer canon. But I'm very curious to see how much is this movie going to take from
it was
that
just
game.
Star Wars Squadrons, right?
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I heard that because there was a Star Wars Rogue Squadron game, but that was back on like the GameCube era. The one so I couldn't remember.
Maybe that's what I'm confusing it because their names are so similar and they're essentially the same things. I want to say, I'm not sure now because I'm probably mixing up the two. Maybe it is because there was a Rogue Squadron game. You said yes.
Yeah.
I believe maybe they were talking about that. That one is no longer canon, and this might end up being a similar thing.
Yeah, the new one, the EA game, that's Squadrons, I think.
Gotcha.
But Rogue Squadron. The new one. Okay, yeah, Rogue Squadron was a game way back in the day. And I think my knowledge on Rogue Squadron's pretty hazy. But if I remember right, Rogue Squadron was like the Rebellion's best of the best with their pilots, and I think Wedge was part of them. So I think it'd be really cool if we got a Wedge Antilles movie, and this was that. That would be really neat. I could be completely wrong in thinking that. Just 100%. I could be, but
we'll see. So anyway, lots of Star Wars. If you feel like you don't have enough Star Wars right now, just buckle up because it's coming. We're not even done. We're just now scrolling one more little section to get to Marvel. And
we haven't even talked about Cyberpunk yet.
Oh, man, I know. We can go pretty quick through this Marvel. So there's actually not as many Marvel announcements.
We've never gone quick through anything Marvel.
Never mind.
I don't know who you think we are.
Let's just keep going. We're just going to keep rolling here. So same story, Steven. I'm going to read off headlines. If you want to stop and talk about it, stop me. So there's going to be a Secret Invasion TV show. For the next couple, these are going to be Disney Plus special series. So a Secret Invasion show starring Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, and then Ben Mendelsohn's Talos. So we are getting a secret invasion somehow, but
as a show,
I'm really curious, right? Because at the end of, was it Far From Home?
It was Far From Home.
Talos, was Nick Fury, and like, we both in the moment were like, holy shit, like has secret invasion been happening all along? And then it was just like, no, they just work for Fury now. I'm really curious if this is going to be like how that came to be. That's what I'm assuming that's going to be, but I'm really excited about this next one. Ironheart, starring Dominique Thorne as the armored heroine, Riri Williams. I don't know if that's how you say that or not, but Riri. Ironheart. We're getting an Ironheart show, Steven. Do you know anything about Ironheart?
I do, and I don't know why we're getting an Ironheart show.
What? Well, we don't have an Iron Man now.
We don't need an Iron Man.
I mean, there's always room for an Iron Man. I'll tell you why. I really do think we're building up to a Young Avengers at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised if she was the Iron Man character for a Young Avengers, a live action Young Avengers. So that's part of it. I don't know why you upset about it, because I'm
not upset about it. Ironheart was just so uninteresting based on
I thought it was really popular though, right?
No, I don't think it did well.
Really? Okay. Well,
when it was announced, of course, it was a big deal, I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember anyone being like, wow, Ironheart is so good. It just was it kind of came and went. And that's my thing, is like, I heard about it when it was announced, but no one was talking about it after that until I think it got canceled. I could be thinking of a completely different book. But it just was kind of the new changing of a character, because there was a lot of that happening at the time.
Well, anyway, I'm excited for that one. I think it could be interesting. Let's see. Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle.
It's War Machine.
I know it's War Machine. I'm just trying to say the actor's name.
Also, this is how you know that Marvel is having Marvel more than Star Wars is getting way oversaturated. Everyone's getting their own show. And look, War Machine's fine. He's fine. He does not need a show. It could be fine. Well, but it's too much Marvel.
It is a lot of Marvel.
That's how you make fatigue.
This is a bit much, yeah. So Armor Wars, starring Don Cheadle as War Machine, as he fights to stop Tony Stark's armor tech from falling into the wrong hands. So that could be interesting. Which is funny with Ironheart also happening, because she reverse engineers his Iron Man tech. So that'll be, I don't know if there'll be a crossover there or not, but that's funny. Baby Groot is getting his own series.
It's a series of minis.
It is minis. It is going to be just some minis.
Which is, if it was not, I'd be so pissed.
Now, I don't know, Steven, but I'm very excited about this one. Guardians of the Galaxy is getting a holiday special.
Yeah, you hear that and you think, wow, that seems like something to just gloss over, but no. It is James Gunn written and directed, original cast, live action. It's basically another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but it's the holiday special.
I just, it's going to be nothing but fun, I think. And I can't wait for
Drax's musical number. That's all I'm saying.
I'm down for a little bit of fun. Like, there's the Star Wars Lego holiday special that I think is on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, Anna and I tried watching it the other night, and we stopped after 3 minutes.
Is it not good? Okay.
We just didn't give it enough time, but also it just seemed like it was directed more towards little kids.
I saw a trailer, and maybe I was in a good mood or something, but I was just like, you know what? This is some dumb, stupid fun. That let's just have a good time. Who cares if it makes sense? Who cares if it's weird? Like, let's just have a little fun, holiday fun.
And I'm totally fine with that, but it just seemed like the humor was more towards kids. It was just a lot of like animated slapstick where Finn falls over. He fell over like 4 times in the 2 minutes we watched.
Wow.
That's a lot of
awesome.
times.
We got new release windows for several, previously announced projects. So the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which got an awesome new trailer. If you want to watch
I didn't know that. I need to go watch that.
Yes, go watch that. Go find it. It's pretty good. That is coming out March 2021, followed by Loki in May of 2021. Loki, the time, what was it? The Time Police basically is what it was.
It's basically the Time Police. They're called something else, but they're the Time Police.
I forget if that was rumored or if we were theorizing that or what was happening, but that is now confirmed. I don't know if there's a teaser, but I know I've seen images.
There's a trailer. Kaylin posted it. I just haven't watched it yet.
I need to go back and watch the full thing. And then What If, which is the series of animated, kind of an anthology as well that asks the question, what if? They showed a trailer for that, and that is coming in summer of 2021. So that looks really
awesome.
good. And then let's see, Tatiana Maslany has been confirmed that she will play the lead role in She-Hulk, and Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth are also confirmed to reprise their roles as Bruce Banner and the Abomination, respectively.
Wow, they're bringing back Abomination. Good for him.
I know. And then, what may be the best part of this, Kevin Feige said, there's some other people coming to this series. And a lot of people are theorizing that our good lawyer friend, Matt Murdock, may also make an appearance because of him being a lawyer and being closely tied to She-Hulk, apparently. So
I really hope that Charlie Cox comes back as Daredevil. He was such a perfect Matt Murdock.
I do too.
And there's rumors that he could be in he, along with every character that's ever Spider-Man, could be in Spider-Man 3.
That would be cool. I saw a great kind of premise of like how that could easily happen. And it was Peter Parker. He was in like a prison, not a prison precinct, but like an
interrogation room. I know the one, yeah.
And
Misty Knight.
Misty Knight's in there, and he's like, "I'm telling you, I'm not Spider-Man." And then Matt busts in, and is like, "Peter Parker, don't say another word." And it's like, "Who are you?" It's like, "I'm his lawyer." It's like, yes.
Well, and I mean, we're right at the spot in the story where that could happen.
I mean, absolutely. It absolutely can happen. So I'm really excited about that. But they announced that they are making a Fantastic Four movie. It is officially in development at Marvel Studios. So that is going to happen. And I think, let's see, John Watts, who was Spider-Man Homecoming's director, is attached to direct that. So still not done. Still not done with Marvel. Ant-Man 3 is officially called Ant-Man and Quantumania, which sounds like we're going to go into the quantum realm again. So that could be fun.
I saw someone describe that as Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, and I was like, wait, what? No, it's Ant-Man 3.
There was another tidbit here. I don't have it on my list, but the, in Endgame, Ant-Man comes back out of the quantum realm, right? And he's in the future, and Cassie's older, right?
Yep.
That person has been recast, and she is going to be in this movie.
It's a tragedy because Cassie Lang was such a cute little toddler in the Ant-Man movies, and that we don't have that actress anymore. She with little teeth missing in the front, like what a cute kid, cutest child actor. Now she's gone because she aged out. Now
she's gone. Yeah. Well, what's sad is she aged out, and then she
still got recast.
Still got recast. Like she could have. She's like, she got aged out because she got older, but now we need an older version of her, and she still didn't get it. So it's like, wow, okay. Anyway, I don't know why they don't have that listed here, but Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau will appear in Captain Marvel 2, which is exciting. Going to be a whole team for Captain Marvel 2. There's also, Miss Marvel, the movie is coming. I don't know if that's a new announcement from
It's a movie? I thought it was a show.
You're right. It's a show. Is that what's happening?
I think so.
It's not in here is what I'm getting to, but I've recently seen like a featurette about it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's happening. Why didn't they announce that? So anyway, I don't know. A lot of stuff happened, okay? Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will connect to the events of Spider-Man 3. I don't know how to say this person's name. Something Gomez is confirmed to be playing Miss America Chavez.
That's
I don't know,
which is interesting. She's basically I don't know if she's from a different timeline or whatever, but she's a Latina Captain America.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I forget the timeline, but Spider-Man 3 is coming out before Multiverse of Madness now, correct?
Yes. I think Spider-Man 3 is coming out in like a year.
Was that always how it was supposed to be? Do you remember?
I don't know if they ever officially announced a release date for Spider-Man, but Doctor Strange has always been like 2022.
Interesting. Because, see, you would think that whatever happened, and obviously WandaVision is going to set up, we assume.
You would think that whatever Doctor Strange unleashes in Multiverse of Madness is why we have every Spider-Man character that's ever been in a Spider-Man movie in Spider-Man 3.
Right. You would think that's what would happen. So I'm really, really curious to see what's going to happen. Maybe what happens, and I know a lot of people have theorized this ever since his identity came out. It could be that it's going to follow the storyline after Civil War, where
Another Day,
obviously, yes, Another Day,
One More Day, or something like that. Where Spider-Man, after having to reveal his identity, goes to Doctor Strange and is like, "Is there any way we can, like, with magic, put this genie back in the bottle?" And he does that, but then, as I understand it, a lot of other things happen around that. So if I remember right, I know nothing about that story, but everyone that I know that does know about that story hated it.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they won't follow it exactly, but maybe the premise of that will. It's going to be Spider-Man going to his good buddy Doctor Strange, and it's like, "You can do magic, right? Is there any way? Can you put this genie back in the bottle?" And we'll see how that goes. And then maybe that causes the multiverse to open up somehow, and it brings in all these other Spider-Man villains, and then the Doctor Strange movie is dealing with that.
How funny would it be if Miles Morales was going to be in Spider-Man 3, but it's the Spider-Man Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse, like he's animated.
The animated. Look, now, Steven, I don't want to get too crazy here, but I honestly could see that happening.
Yeah.
And if
at this point,
I really do. I really do think this is an honest. I really think this is going to happen. Somewhere, I think towards the end, because I don't think they're going to focus on it too much. There's already a lot happening. But I think during the final fight, whatever's happening, we've established that Spider-Men are coming from multiverses. We're trying to stop the big bad guy. All this is happening. I totally can see a fourth Spider-Man swinging in, and it's Miles Morales. And it's just like, "Hey, guys." And then he does whatever and then helps them leave. Hey. Yeah. I'm really curious. If that'll happen or not. But anyway, let's see. Christian Bale is confirmed to be playing Gore the God Butcher in Thor: Love and Thunder, which is coming out in like 2022 or 2023. Like, we got so long for that, but I'm hyped. I'm ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be good. They also talked about how Marvel will not recast T'Challa after the passing of Chadwick Boseman. They said that this is the Black Panther series. Wait a minute. Interesting. Hang on. I'm reading this again because I thought it was Black Panther series will spotlight other characters using the branding World of Wakanda. Ryan Coogler remains attached to Black Panther 2, but the sequel's release date has been pushed back to July 8, 2022. I don't know why it calls it the Black Panther series, because they're definitely talking about Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just mean going forward, the Black Panther series will be
that's probably what that
something.
means.
Anyway, they're going to focus on different characters in that world.
I hope that they don't just make Shuri Black Panther. And I know it's.
I mean, what would you rather them do?
I would rather M'Baku, the man ape. I'm serious.
Okay.
He's great. That's his rival. He was great. He was a highlight of Black Panther. He had a lot of charisma. He was huge. Like I would like to see him take more of a lead role. And I know Shuri at one point was Black Panther, but the actress is fine. But I just don't see her as like a superhero. She does great as like the man in the chair, as Ned from Spider-Man puts it, or guy in the chair or whatever. But I hope they don't just do that. That almost seems like an insult to me because it's the least creative solution to living up to his.
I definitely think, regardless, the right answer is to not replace.
I agree.
Chadwick Boseman. I applaud them for that, because that's definitely not the easiest route that they could have taken. That
shows some character on their part, knowing how big of a cash cow the character of Black Panther is,
right?
For them to not recast, and I admire that.
Yeah. So I do think at some point, though, someone else has to take the mantle, and I'm really curious how they're going to do that, because are we saying that T'Challa has passed in this universe?
Yeah, I would think so.
How does that come about? I don't know. I'm very curious where that's all going to go, but we shall see. That's going to be July 8th, 2022. So a long way there. And that is it, I think, for Marvel. So,
are you sure? You didn't talk about the series for the guy who was playing Galaga in the helicarrier when Tony Stark called him out. I'm pretty sure he's got a series coming.
It's a lot of stuff. Disney, I mean, and they're just, I wonder if this is part of, when COVID was really, I say really going down, it's still really going down, but when it started to ramp up, I know one of the things Disney was like one of the first companies to make an announcement that like they were shifting a lot of focus to production for streaming. And that was actually, while we're on the subject of Raya the Last Dragon, right? That one is coming to Disney Plus same day as theater, but it's going to be like Mulan. It's going to have a premium. So that one is one that I would be happy to pay the premium for, but whatever. So anyway, interesting stuff, really good stuff. Again, if you want to see all the crazy announcements, like one of the things I didn't realize, Indiana Jones 5 is in production there. So go look up a list.
With Harrison Ford attached.
I know. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Lots of good stuff in there if you want to go see the full list there. But we are already over an hour in, and we haven't even started talking about Cyberpunk.
So we have four minutes to talk about Cyberpunk if we want to be done by 3.
No. I'll give us to 3:15 or 3:20 maybe. But okay. I don't stretch it out if you don't want to. But let's. I
have a hard out of 4 o'clock.
Oh, absolutely. I have a hard out at 3:15. So.
Okay.
No. So let's talk about Cyberpunk, Steven. Let's talk about it. Okay. How do you want to do this? Do you want me to go first? What do you want to talk about? You said you were really excited to hear my thoughts.
You just talk and I'll comment on your thoughts.
I'm gonna talk. So Cyberpunk, right? Obviously, I think arguably one of the most anticipated games of the last few years, right? Everyone's been excited about it, and everyone has been excited about it, and it's getting delayed, and a lot of pressure has built up, and now it's finally here. Okay. And I think I said this in podcasts leading up to this year, really probably after it got delayed from, because I think it was coming out in like April. It was like early this year, and then it was suddenly
like March
delayed
or something. I thought.
Then it was delayed to September. Then it was delayed to November. Then it got delayed to December. I think when it got delayed from September to November, I think on a podcast somewhere in there, I said, I'm starting to worry that this isn't going to be what I want it to be. And I think probably a lot of people started to come to that conclusion as well. So anyway, with all that said, I like it a lot. It is just not as ambitious so far as I was expecting. And again, I've probably played like 5 or 6, maybe 7, 8 hours, somewhere in there. I've played a lot, I feel like, but like Steven said, I have not gotten to the title yet.
Yeah, title card took me 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's if you mainline the first little bit. There's a certain point where you get kind of set loose, but you can't go very far. Yet. Yeah, you can't go very far. You're stuck in the district that you're in.
Immediately after title card, you're set loose. By the way.
Oh yeah. I knew that's how that worked. Okay. I just got distracted, right? I started seeing things to do, and I was like, oh, I can get mantis blades at street cred level 20. I can get to that. What's some side stories I can go do? So I've been playing, trying to get some cyberware gear before I finish this first quest. But I'm about to do the heist. The actual heist. So I was hoping to have stuff before I took on the Maelstrom gang for the first time. And anyway, my top level thoughts. I think it's good. I really like what's there. It's just, I think so much praise and expectation was going into this of this was going to redefine
complete game changer. Yeah,
redefine how everything works and how everything is. And even to the point of like, we've seen in trailers, I always talk about the gorilla arms, right? Which are these arm attachments that you get that basically boost your strength. And like what they show you with that is like, sure, you can like, punch people and it kill them in one hit. Or you can rip open doors, or you can rip a turret off of a stand or whatever. And it's supposed to be like, all these different paths are open to you depending on how you want to spec out your character and everything. And there's all these different ways you can spec out your character. And as I've been playing, much like in a lot of RPGs, I know Witcher did this, and other games have done it, like Fallout, where if you're spec'd out high enough on, say, stealth or charisma or whatever, sometimes you'll have different dialogue options. Sometimes you might be high enough level to hack through a door or something. I kind of put the gorilla arms as like, oh, cool, I can rip every door. But what I think, and I haven't tested this yet, but I'm afraid this is the reality that I'm going to come to. In reality, if you have a door that has a strength check, you can rip it open with the gorilla arms.
It'll probably help you with the strength check, at least.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure with gorilla arms, it's just going to be like, cool, you're passing this strength test. But I don't know. But what I found is like, if a door has a strength test, like if your strength is high enough, gorilla arms or no, you can rip the door open. But you may come to a door that needs you to have technical experience.
Technical ability, yep.
And so my question right now, and I don't have the answer, but I'm assuming it's no. My question is, if I had gorilla arms,
can you just rip the technical ability?
Can I just rip the tech door off? Because I mean, that's what I thought the whole point was. So anyway, there's stuff like that where it's like, I was kind of expecting you could build your character a certain way and you could take on anything. But what I'm finding is that if you're still not a tech spec character, you can't make this tech checkpoint. So it's really interesting, and I'm really curious to see how it goes. The other thing that I am feeling about the game at this point is I'm afraid that I want this game to be something that it's not. And what I mean by that is, I am a third person kind of guy. I prefer third person. And then obviously I prefer sword play to gunplay, but bow gameplay is fine, right? So I have not been real excited about any of the guns that we've been talking about, but I've been real excited for like the gorilla arms and the mantis blades and the nano wire and the swords that you can get. You can have katanas in this game. And I'm happy to say that a melee build totally works. Like,
oh yeah, it works.
I have been just only katana for my 8 hours or so. The very beginning of the game, you're stuck with a gun and you've got to shoot. And that's just how it goes. But for the rest of the time, I've been playing as a sword wielding hack ninja. And so I'll hack people a little bit, and then I'll go slice them, and then I'll go hack people a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Hack 2 ways.
And so anyway, that build's working, and I'm having a ton of fun. It's just it's first person melee, which is fine, but it's just swing. Like I'm just seeing arms swing. I'm not doing any cool moves. Which is fine. It's fine. It's fun. So I'm having a good time. I'm hoping like once I have like mantis blades or maybe the nano wire, it'll look a little cooler than just like how the sword is doing now. You do get a cool like finishing move when you kill somebody with a sword where like their body will kind of stop for a second and you'll hack their head off. Sometimes their head just explodes because that's how this game goes. But anyway, so overall, I'm enjoying it. There are definitely bugs. There are definitely issues. I have a great clip where I don't know. Have I put it in the Discord yet? I don't guess I have. It's too big.
You tweeted it, I think.
I tweeted it on our Twitter page. Go to Chortle Games on Twitter. I was running to an objective because I don't drive. I run to my objectives. I was running. And I heard this, and I was like, I was running to an assault, right? So I was going to something where I was expecting screaming. So I didn't think too much of it. But then like right before my eyes, this man falls out of the sky and hits the ground and just explodes, right? There's blood and guts everywhere. And I pass him, kind of back up and look, and I'm just like, where did this come from? And I immediately paused because I'm like, I got to share this. So I saved it and sent it to Steven. But there's and that's not even, I don't even know if it's a glitch. For all I know, someone jumped off the building, right? And
knowing
that was
this game, that's exactly what happened.
Someone jumped, or that it was a glitch?
Someone jumped.
Oh, okay.
Because, and you'll notice this, and this is one of the problems with like, I was impressed with how many people talking there are with like the people just having conversations that feel like fleshed out conversations that are like stories of their own, but the same conversations are always happening. Right. So when you leave the apartment, I've seen this conversation between these two cops sitting at like a food cart. I've seen that conversation 3 times, which is how many times I've passed the apartment on foot. Right. So that's not that good.
Right.
But it's one of those things. So probably what happened, honestly, if you walk past over there again, that guy might jump again.
If it happens, I'll be sure to record it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's issues. There's, but to me, it hasn't been anything. I have had my game crash a few times, but I haven't lost any progress normally when it happens. And, I come to expect it. And Witcher, we all talk about how great Witcher was. Witcher had plenty of glitches. But the thing about Witcher's glitches was they were endearing. Like one of the best glitches is your horse Roach would just end up on roofs. Like he just would end up on a roof. And it's like, how did you get there? Right. And it became such a thing that like in Gwent, there's a card, or the card for Roach is Roach on a roof. So it became a thing. Right. And that's, I'd say at this point, that's where I'm at with the glitches I've encountered. It's just kind of been weird. I've hacked somebody's head off and that somehow slams their body into a wall. And so it's almost like their neck became a suction cup, and they'll stick to the wall and kind of like pulsate. Yeah. And I don't like that. I laugh. It's just like, okay, cool. That's a funny glitch. I don't know, stuff like that. It's just been strange. Oh God, I can't believe I didn't start with this PSA, and I'm sure you've heard about it now because people have gotten out about it. But whatever you pick for your customization of your character at the very beginning, you're freaking stuck with. So pick a hairpiece you like, pick a eyes you like, whatever, because that shit ain't changing. And
pick a penis that you like.
God, I hope that is they just didn't have time. I don't know what's coming in the free DLC, but God, I hope there's a barber, because Lord, I tried in the character.
That's such a big oversight.
I'm shocked. It's one of those things that, like, I really do think they had two warring thoughts of somebody wanted to have character customization and somebody wanted to be in first person the whole time. And both of those people were like, nope, we're 100% doing this my way. And so, like, I don't see what the point of character customization is, because you never see your character. There are a couple of moments in mirrors. When you go into third person on a motorcycle, you'll see your character. When you go to the equip new items, you see your character. But that's pretty much it. Your character doesn't appear in cutscenes because cutscenes happen in your first person. So I don't know what the point was. But then on the same side of that, it's like, if we're going to have all this character customization, why the hell would you not let me change it later? So, and then beyond even that, so I tried to make a Geralt, right? I tried to make a Witcher, a Cyberpunk Geralt. That's what I wanted to do. So I started doing that. I made that. I found the right hair. I found the right beard. I found the right eyes. I found everything. Got the scar. And I was like, this looks great. Let me get the hair color going. They had no just plain white hair. It was like white with a little bit of blue, white with a little bit of green, white with a little bit of pink. And it wasn't
there white
like,
with red?
No, there was nothing. It was all these weird, they weren't weird colors, but it was just like, in the absence of white, it seemed like it was so strange that they had all these other, it was like opaques, where like it started at a blue and at the bottom and was green by the time I got to the top of your head, and all this other just stuff. But like, there were only 15 color options for hair. And I was just like, what? Like, I feel like when I turned off nudity, did I lose all the hair colors? Like, what's the deal here?
I forgot to turn off nudity before I made my character, and man, did I get a different experience from Jake.
I turned that was one of the first things in settings. I went and turned off that and the streaming. I wanted to make sure my settings were set for streaming.
There are 2 penis options. There are 3 sizes. It's small, medium, large.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I've been seeing a lot of memes about like customizing the genitals of your Cyberpunk character. It's not that impressive. It's really not. Like, there are 5 options pretty much.
And as far as I've heard, it doesn't like, again, it's one of those questions of like, why did they bother with this? Because in any of the sex scenes, you don't see it.
Although there is an amazing glitch that's going on right now, where like, I saw the article headline was like, Cyberpunk players are suffering from erectile dysfunction. And the glitch is where the Cyberpunk player character, their penis sticks out of their pants that they have equipped just randomly.
Bless it.
It's so dumb, but it's like, this wouldn't be a problem if you had just not programmed that in there.
Right. Well, to wrap up what I was saying though, like, so I tried to make Geralt. As soon as I went to hair, couldn't find the right hair color. And I said, you know what? It's probably some weird, not all the colors are here right now. I'll find a barber. I'll get his hair white. We'll make it work. I should have at that point said, instead of saying I'll find a way to make it white, I should have said, let me make something I'll be happy with, and then I'll change it to be Geralt later.
Yep.
Is what I should have done, but I didn't. So now I've got this dumb, like, man bun in the back hair, which if it was white would look just like Geralt, but it's not. It's not. Brown.
So it's some idiot, just some brown-haired idiot.
I'm some brown-haired idiot now. Anyway, just a really frustrating oversight, but I'm trying not to let it bother me. So I'm wearing a mask too. So it's like, okay, I don't really. I'm trying to tell myself it just really doesn't matter because I can't tell
your character that it's okay. No one can see his embarrassing hair.
Yeah, no one.
Not even you.
I can't see you, so no one else can.
Actually, your character doesn't have a head. Did you know that the player model doesn't have a head?
I didn't know that, but that
because I guess this is just the way games are designed, because games are weird where sometimes you're just floating arms,
right?
But I did see my shadow at one point, and my head was not there. It was just headless V was my shadow, so that made me think, I bet V just doesn't have a head. He's just a headless corpse.
That sounds like an even cooler premise to Cyberpunk than what it really is. But anyway, all that aside, again, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see where the story goes. I'm really excited to unlock more stuff like the cyberware, like the mantis blades and the gorilla arms, like I've talked about, are hella expensive, which I have the money for them now, but I don't have the level or the street cred for them. And I'm again having the normal issues I have of I hate it when games don't allow you to unlock every type of skill and ability. Because for me, I want to be the best at everything. But I understand.
See, I'm the exact opposite.
I know you are. And I understand and appreciate your point of view, but it really pisses me off when I want to be a cyber ninja. But then I run up to a door that needs technical ability, and it's like, cool, I can only allot 8 points to you for the build I want to do, which means I'm not going to be doing anything with technical ability.
Wait, what do you mean you can only allot 8 points?
So there are 50 levels in the game, Steven, right? There are 5 attributes, I think is what they're called, trees. You got body, you got reflexes, you got technical ability, you have intelligence, and then you have cool, which is like stealth, and like keeping your cool. Those are your 5 attributes, right? You start the game off with at least 3 in each of those points. The highest you can get any of those attributes is 20.
Yeah.
And then, so you start off with 3 in each at least, and then you add 7 points across the board. But at the beginning, you can only put 6 into any particular one. So the way that broke down for me, I'm focusing on body, reflexes, and intelligence. So basically, I want to be a tank and I want to be strong. Reflexes has swords in it. So just
I forgot that reflexes has swords.
It has it has handguns.
Yeah, handguns, assault,
something else, and swords. So yeah,
so I'm running handguns.
I'm dumping it. I'm dumping reflexes in there to get to swords. So that, and then intelligence is all your hacking, and so I wanna hack a lot. And have a lot of really cool hacks.
My build is basically centered around intelligence, technical ability, and reflex.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm doing a lot of hacking, but a lot of handguns. I love the handguns, and I'm doing a lot of crafting. So I'm going to craft my own guns.
Gotcha. Good deal. Well, anyway.
And I love tech weapons. Tech weapons are my favorite weapons.
Yeah, I think that's the one where you can hold it and it like charges the shot.
Yeah, I found this precision rifle that's a purple rarity. It's a rare. And it's a tech rifle, and it ends everything. it just dominates everything. It's wonderful.
That's awesome. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna talk about that. But anyway, you can only get each of those trees up to 20. And you have 50 levels. So I forget. I did the math. Well, I guess the math is there are 50 points that you will be able to distribute among those, and obviously, again, they start off with 3. You could have started off with more across them all. So anyway, I'm gonna get body to 20, reflexes to 20, intelligence to 20. That leaves me, I want to say it was like 14 or 16 points left. So that means the technical ability and the cool attributes, I can only level up to 8 points.
And that sucks because those are kind of play off of each other a lot.
Well, my thing...
Technical ability is needed for stealth.
Really?
Because, well, I would consider that because it's basically lockpicking.
Yeah, I guess in a sense, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to play around with it. But as I kept looking through things, I just kept being like, nope, I'm going to have that. I'm going to have to go all the way in. It's one of those things that I might not have to go all the way to 20 with body and reflexes and intelligence. But I feel like there were 1 or 2 in intelligence that I was like, yep, I'm going to have to get to at least 18 or I'm going to have to get close to 20, which is kind of annoying. I wish, and there are some that are like this, where in the skill tree, an ability will be locked by, another cool
by
thing about
your
this
attribute
game.
rank.
Well, there's your attribute rank, but then there's also your skill rank, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like, so like with me for blades, as I use blades, my blades rank goes up.
Yeah. I love that. I've noticed that
too.
Crafting's really hard to rank up though.
I believe it. I wish that that was just how that worked across the board, was you could put attribute points and it could, if you come up to a strength check, right, and it says, what's your strength attribute? I wish that was all that mattered for. I wish it didn't matter for the skills that I want in there. I wish that could just be like, oh, I want a 1 knockout punch.
Yeah, because that does really suck for you to have to go into reflexes, which I, like you heard me, I forgot that swords were in reflexes because it's so gun focused. That sucks that you have to go into that. It makes sense, but it still sucks.
It's one of those things that I really need to look at each skill and say, okay, is there anything in here that I have to hit 24? And I feel like as I kept looking, I was like, yeah, there's plenty of things I want to just hit 24. So I don't know. We'll see. I've got to play through more of it, but in general, I'm liking it a lot. This story so far, I don't really have much word on because, again, I have not even gotten to the title screen.
The story picked up for me a lot. Like, I think I texted the group around the time the story picked up. Mm-hmm. It was title card. It was when I was like actually really invested. Mm-hmm. So you're getting to that point, and
they definitely put you through, like Steven said, about a 3-hour prologue that kind of gets you in the city, introduces you to Jackie, kind of introduces you to the world and how Night City works. And then it really kind of drops you into the story that we've heard about of Johnny Silverhand and what's going on.
My big complaint with the story, I think, is that you have the main story with Johnny Silverhand, but it seems like it goes off into way too many branches of that story, because you're like given 2 different paths of like, well, how do I solve this problem? And then 2 other people are like, well, you can also come over here and try to solve it this way. And so it gets too busy, I think, but like I am invested in the characters and the plot and just the world overall and stuff. But I wish it was a little more simplified in the narrative, because it is kind of like, where do I go? Like, what am I looking at here? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You might understand what I'm talking about when you get there.
Yeah, I probably will. Like, and this is what I am experiencing right now is stuff that we've seen in demos, right? There was a demo at some E3 where you're given this mission to go steal this spider robot from.
Yeah, that was the first gameplay we ever saw from the game, and it was just a random drop in like 2017 or 2018 or something.
I did that mission, right? And they showed an example of how you can approach this any way you want. And so like the job is to go get this robot from them. So way number one, which now that I've done it, I should have just done it this way. But way number one is just show up and kill everybody and take. That's what
I did.
Which well, hearing you say that, I'm afraid that's just how it's going to break down any way you do it, which is a little annoying, but whatever. The other angle, though, that you can take is you can go meet with the person they stole the spider bot from and talk to them, who's a corpo. It's a corpo person.
I did meet with her.
You didn't?
I did.
Okay. I did as well. Took a chip from her. Basically what she wanted was, she said, look, I'm going to give you the money to pay them again for that robot. And that's all I want you to do. I want you to pay for the money with this. And I said, okay. So I took it.
I told her no.
Interesting. So here's what, so you missed out on something, Steven. So if you take it, what you may or may not know is that it's bugged. And basically as soon as the guys take it, it would have killed them. And then they would have blamed you for it. But what I did was I went into my inventory and I looked at the chip. And I don't know if you had to have a certain rank in intelligence to do this, or if you could anybody could give it an attempt. But you can hack this. You can do what they call a breach protocol on it.
Yeah.
Hacked it. And when you're doing a hacking game, there are like 3 tiers, right? And there's like the easiest, the middle, and then the hardest, and you get different rewards for whatever. Anyway, I did it perfect and got everything. So what I got was a quick hack called Synapses Burnout, which is a lethal hack. And so I now have this hack where I can hack into people and basically take half their health off.
That's cool.
With just a hack. But also I disabled what she was going to do to them. So when I went in, I handed them the money and was like, here you go. Like, it's all good. Just take the money. But I still ended up, as soon as they found out who had sent me, they wanted to fight. And so I fought them. And I killed them all with my sword, and that was it.
So I basically said to her, screw you, deals off. I'm not taking your money, because I didn't trust her. Mm-hmm. She was a corpo who very clearly had an agenda, and I was on the wrong side of it, most likely. But this is where I think the story may have gotten confused, because the story, I think, thinks that I did take the money from her, and I know I didn't.
We'll see,
because go ahead.
No, you finish, because I think the same thing happened to me. I'm wondering if this is a glitch.
She was very thankful. She was like, we're square. Thanks for your help. See you later. And then she texted me later, and I didn't realize what I was responding to. I maybe I was just trying to be nice. I don't know, but I was just like, okay, yeah, being polite or whatever. And then she said, meet me here. And it was the hotel.
Did y'all have a good time?
I was walking there, and it was just one of those things where I was like, surely this is some kind of setup for story purposes.
By the way, just to interject really quickly here.
Yeah.
Completely different things happen for me. So I as soon as you're done, I've got to retell this. So,
so I went there thinking, like, I wasn't trying to get some, obviously. I went there thinking it's a setup. It's probably some kind of quest thing. I'll just go there and be like, oh, this isn't what I expected. And then it'll be fine. Move on, deal with the story ramifications, whatever. The door opens and she is just there on like a heart-shaped bed, just ready to go.
What?
And I was like, what? And so I skipped that. But I got a weapon out of it. And the weapon was sitting on the bed.
Is it a dildo?
It's a dildo.
Great. I've seen videos of this, so.
Yeah, so she was just, I was expecting to be like knocked out by some other corpo because V gets knocked out by corpos a lot as soon as I walked in the door. But no, she was just sitting there basically naked, like, hey, you ready? And I was like, to get shot? That's what I'm expecting. It was weird.
So there's a lot of things. I'm now very excited. Okay. I was a little like, I guess things aren't really that different. I'm very excited now because wow, did we have different. What I thought you were about to say was you were like, oh, well, it acted like I did use her money or took her money or whatever. Because when I finished, I called Dex and he was like, how'd it go? And I like relayed everything back to him. And he was like, did you use the Militech woman? And I was like, I did. She gave me money to pay them, but I just took the money. And I was like, I didn't take the money. I gave them the money. What are you talking about? And so I don't know what that was about. But anyway, let me dial it back. So, Steven, when you met with her, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first time you met with her.
Yes, I did meet with her the first time.
So you remember she pulled out this guy, right? They had a guy with her, right? Who they thought was the mole, right?
Yeah.
And he's all beat up, right? And I'm pretty sure she's like, do you know this guy? I don't know what you said, but I was like, nah, I've never seen this guy in my life.
That's what I said.
Because I hadn't. This is honest. I try to be honest whenever.
I sat there and I was thinking, like, did I? I really don't know. So we're just going to say no. I met a lot of people in Night City.
Well, I said no, right? So anyway, she shoves him back in. We move on, whatever. Well, I get to the Maelstroms, right? Everything goes to shit. I have to kill them all anyway. Kill him. Did you find Brick?
Yep.
Okay. Did you free Brick?
I did.
Did he blow up?
No.
Okay, great. Did you disable the bomb on him?
Yes.
Okay, great.
All those were the same questions.
Just making sure. I'm establishing here. Because who knows? I did both, so I didn't know if something else happened. So anyway, I
have not seen the outcome of that, by the way.
Well, me either.
Okay.
So I rescued him. Was doing a lot of scounging around. Like, I'm a big looter, okay? I loot everything. I dig around. Being a hacker, I also am looking through computers, right? So I read a couple emails. Well, turns out I come across an email that told me the guy who they thought was the mole was the mole. Like, I had evidence proof on this laptop. And V says something like, I forget what his name was. It was like Charlie Langston, that son of a bitch. He was the mole or something like that. He said something like that. So when I walk out, Charlie Langston was who met me. So I didn't see the Militech woman again. It was him.
Interesting.
Yes.
I saw her.
I know you saw her.
I saw everything. She was the one that met me outside, and she was just like, "Hey, we're square."
Right. That's what happens in the demo that they showed before everything was released. So I was real confused when it was him. But basically, I walked up to him, and he was like, "Thanks for doing this, guys. You did us a solid, whatever." And my nomad option was, "I know what you did." I forget what it was called. It was like an LOA. He was like, LOA, oldest trick in the book, but I guess it still works. And the guy was basically like, look, man, I help my friends. That can be you too. If we can just be cool and part ways amicably. And I was like, we'll see. I'm good with that. And we parted ways. Nothing happened.
See, I'm a street V. So with me, it's just like, oh yeah, I've seen that trick on the streets. You think you can hang on the streets? That's basically what all the streetwise lines boil down to. I raised on the streets. I know the streets.
I can't wait to hear more stories from what we do. But so you went street kid. So let's dial back to this. So I started as a nomad, right? Mm-hmm. I started outside of the city in the Badlands or the Outlands, whatever they call it. I'm getting my car fixed. A sheriff was being a real dick to me. I had to climb a radio tower to get in touch with Jackie to find out where to meet him. Or actually, no, I got in touch with somebody who was from my clan. Apparently, I got kicked out of my clan, which I'd really love to know what the story behind that is, because there's no real reason given. It's just like the guy I talked to is somebody from my clan, and he's like, V, is that you? I told you never to call me again. And I'm like, yo, Bill, look, I just need one more thing.
Bill.
Like, can you give me the coordinates to this? And he's like, this is the last time. Don't ever call me. I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah.
And then it was like, cool. And so like, can I pursue that? Like, I'd love to know what happened there. But anyway, I met Jackie. He had stolen something.
You probably can, because the guy that got me involved with Jackie, with that whole story, I think he just contacted me and offered me a job.
Interesting. He's a fixer.
I don't know if he's a fixer, but basically the whole thing for me was that the owner of the bar that I frequent, and I think I'm a Night City native, but I just moved back, I think was my story. But the owner of the bar that I frequent, owed money and he couldn't pay. So I went to the guy who he owed money to, and he gave me a job to steal a car, and Jackie was given the same job. And so that's how we met. And the guy that gave me that job, just contacted me in the game.
So y'all stole a car.
I think we tried.
Well, so I met Jackie, right? And he had this case that had been picked up off of a corpo cargo truck or something. And so we're trying to smuggle it into the city. And so we do that. We end up in a car chase, getting shot at. We get away, but like the car's gone to shit. So it's like we crash somewhere and we hide out. And Jackie's like, you know what? We're in the city, but there's no way we're getting this to whoever it is in this thing. Why don't we open it up and see what it is? And so we open it up, and it's an iguana. It's like a pet iguana. That's and random. Jackie's like, I've always wanted an iguana. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. You can keep it. And he's like, really? He's like, dude, what are you doing? Do you want to hang out with me? And it's like, sure. And then for me, it cut to a montage of like Jackie and
that's what it was for me too.
Okay.
But let me tell you how me and Jackie met real quick.
Go for it.
So I'm doing this job by myself. It's supposed to be foolproof. I steal the car, and I get in the car and I'm like, all right, this is pretty good. Let's go. And then a gun's in my head, and it's Jackie. And he's like, hey, no hard feelings, right? It's just a job. And I was given the options to try to negotiate or gun it. I didn't gun it. And I would love to know what happens if you gun it. Because I try to talk him down, and then the cops come, and they're just like, basically they're given the order from the owner of the car to execute us. But the cop, because he also lived on the streets, he actually spares us and just dumps us somewhere.
Wow.
And so Jackie's just sitting there next to me, and he's just like, I'm hungry. You want to go get something to eat? And it's just like, boy, you just tried to kill me. But we became quick friends. He's great.
That's hilarious. So yeah. So let's. This is the last thing I want to talk about. We'll talk lots about Cyberpunk in the future, but
I've got a story that I definitely need to tell about my my visit to the clouds. But you're not there yet, and that includes a spoiler. So just remind me next podcast to tell the story about my visit to the clouds.
The clouds, everybody.
Yeah.
So. You said to me the other day, you texted and you were like, I really like Jackie. Jackie's a good character. Now I'm not here to disagree with you. I had a great time with Jackie. We stole an iguana and he's been there. But I wouldn't say like, oh man, I love Jackie. He's a great character. Like he's there. He's fine.
I love the purpose
he's
he
not
serves.
A bad character. But yeah, so what was that?
It's not so much his character. It's the purpose he serves. I think they do a really good job of having the best friend character. Like you feel like the bond's actually there, and he does have a lot of personality. So it's less of like, I love like his character, which is the guy who's always hungry, who has a short temper, who has high aspirations, all that kind of stuff. It's more so, I think the way they portrayed him, the way they wrote him was very effective. And he might grow on you a bit more after the next mission. But I don't know.
I mean, I definitely don't dislike him. It could only go up from here, I assume. But to me, he's just kind of a bro. Like, you know, we met on a job. We've been together ever since. And it's just, you know, he's cool. He's my let's go kill some stuff, boy. Like, whatever. Anyway, very good. I can't wait to play more Cyberpunk. I'm going to go play more Cyberpunk now. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can like this video, share it with your friends, leave us comments, all that good stuff. If you're also watching live, you might be watching on Facebook. That's at Chortle Games on Facebook. You can like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I don't guess you can subscribe on Facebook, but you know, whatever.
Like is the same as subscribe.
There you go. Like it, share it, comment it, whatever. If you're an audio listener, you're listening through Apple Podcasts, so we appreciate you. We'd love it if you could leave us a review. If you want to hang out with us throughout the week, you can follow us on Twitter. That's at Chortle Games on Twitter, and twitch.tv/Chortle_games. We live stream to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch all at the same time when we live stream. We live stream usually Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights. This Thursday or maybe Tuesday, we're going to be doing some Killing Floor.
We're going to try to do some Killing Floor holiday. So the holiday special.
We're going to do the holiday special of Killing Floor.
I already know what we should call the stream if anyone from FFG joins us.
Okay, I'm very excited.
A friendly Chortle Christmas.
A friendly Chortle Christmas. That's great.
Thank you.
A friendly Chortle killing Christmas.
Killmas. Flormas.
I like it. It's building. It's our holiday special. I like it.
It is.
Anyway, we'll be doing that. I'm sure for me, I can stream probably Friday at some point. It'll be Cyberpunk, but I am of course shooting a wedding on Saturday. So Steven, feel free to do whatever you want to do on Saturday.
Of course.
There you go. That's going to be it for our show. Thank you for sticking with us for we do a lot of 2-hour shows, and it's a little much.
It's ridiculous.
It's just Disney and the Game Awards, Disney.
They just had to drop all like a month worth of news in one day. Like next week, we won't have anything to talk about. So, you know, we'll talk more about Cyberpunk, but we'll hear about the clouds. Everyone's going to have to remind me. I'm excited. You get to hear my safe word.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.